On a dark and stormy Halloween night, I found myself alone in my small suburban home. The howling wind and relentless rain added an eerie ambiance to the holiday festivities, but little did I know that this Halloween would be more terrifying than any ghost or ghoul I had ever encountered. I had always been a festive Halloween enthusiast, decorating my house with macabre flair and handing out candy to the neighborhood kids. My friends often teased me for my love of the holiday, but I relished the opportunity to immerse myself in the spooky spirit. Little did I know that my love for Halloween would soon turn into a living nightmare. As the clock struck midnight, I heard a faint tapping on my front door. Assuming it was a late-night trick-or-treater, I made my way to the entrance, dressed as a witch for the occasion. But when I opened the door, I was met with a sight that sent a chill down my spine. Standing before me was a man, shrouded in darkness, wearing a grotesque mask. The mask bore a sinister grin and empty eye sockets that seemed to pierce right through my soul. In his hand, he held a menacing, gleaming firearm, its cold barrel pointed directly at me. My heart raced, and fear consumed me as I realized that this was not a Halloween prank, but a genuine threat. "Give me everything you've got," the masked man hissed, his voice trembling with a mixture of anxiety and menace. Trembling with fear, I stammered, "Please, you don't have to do this. Take whatever you want, just don't hurt me." The man, who would soon become known as the trick-or-treater in local news reports, remained steadfast in his demands. He instructed me to lead him into my home, where he demanded I empty my safe, hand over my jewelry, and reveal any valuables I had stashed away. Tears welled up in my eyes as I complied with the intruder's demands. I was forced to relinquish my cherished family heirlooms and treasured possessions, all while the chilling mask and the glinting gun reminded me of the danger I was in. The trick-or-treater moved with a calculated, eerie precision as he systematically robbed me of my material wealth. Throughout the ordeal, the relentless storm outside mirrored the chaos and fear that gripped me. The wind rattled the windows, and the rain drummed against the roof, as if nature itself were conspiring to intensify my torment. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the trick-or-treater gathered all the stolen goods into a bag and backed away slowly, maintaining the sinister grin on his mask. "Remember, this was your Halloween surprise," he whispered, before disappearing into the inky night. I was left trembling and traumatized. My once-beloved Halloween night turned into a haunting nightmare. As I dialed 911 to report the crime, the words I struggled to find were swallowed by the fear that still gripped me. The police arrived shortly, but the mysterious thief had vanished without a trace. The air was crisp, and the moon hung high in the ink-black sky. Halloween was just around the corner, and I was determined to outdo myself with my decorations this year. I had spent weeks meticulously arranging tombstones, skeletons, and cobwebs on my front lawn, turning it into a haunting spectacle. But little did I know that my Halloween enthusiasm would soon be shattered. I'm a middle-aged man with a penchant for all things spooky. My enthusiasm for the holiday had always been infectious, and my decorations attracted neighbors and passers-by alike. It was my pride and joy. At the stroke of midnight, I decided to call it a night and retire to my bedroom. I turned off the TV, leaving only the soft hum of the wind outside. As I settled under my warm blankets, a faint rustling sound reached my ears. It was the kind of noise that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. I dismissed it initially, attributing it to the gentle autumn breeze rattling my decorations outside. However, my unease grew when the rustling continued, growing louder and closer. I couldn't ignore it any longer. I pulled on a robe and cautiously made my way to the window. Peering outside, I gasped in disbelief. A woman stood in my front yard, her eyes reflecting the glow of the Halloween lights. Clutched in her gloved hand was a glinting knife, its blade sharp and menacing. My heart pounded in my chest as I watched in horror. I couldn't see her face clearly, hidden behind a mask of darkness, but her intent was painfully obvious. She was dismantling my meticulously arranged decorations with a cold, calculated precision. The woman worked swiftly, her knife making quick work of the ghostly figures and tombstones I had so carefully placed. It was as though she reveled in the destruction, and the sight sent a chill down my spine. My mind raced as I considered calling the police, but the fear that she might hear me and turn her malevolent attention to my home kept me rooted to the spot. Silently, I watched as the woman continued her malevolent task. Her movements were deliberate, almost ritualistic, and it sent a shiver down my spine. I had never encountered such a brazen act of vandalism. My Halloween decorations had always brought joy to the community, and this woman's actions seemed to mock the very spirit of the holiday. As she finished defiling my decorations, the woman turned and walked away into the night, disappearing into the shadows. I waited for what felt like an eternity, ensuring that she was truly gone before I dared to step outside. My once spooky front yard now looked like a graveyard ravaged by time and neglect. I felt violated, as if something precious had been stolen from me. I called the police and gave them a detailed account of the unsettling woman who had invaded my Halloween sanctuary. As they began their investigation, I couldn't help but wonder what had driven her to commit such a chilling act of destruction. Was it a twisted sense of revenge or a sinister motive I couldn't fathom?